All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're taking a guided tour through one of the most important, and let's be real, one of the most intimidating poems ever written. T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. Think of it as a map of a broken world, a culture picking through the rubble of war, trying to find something, anything, meaningful. So let's dive in and see if we can piece this incredible puzzle together. So, where do we even begin? Well, we start right where Eliot does, with an opening line so famous it's practically a legend. But it's more than just a memorable line. It's the key that unlocks the entire desolate world of the poem. Now, you and I, we think of April as a good thing, right? Spring, rebirth, life. But Eliot just flips that whole idea on its head. For the dead land of post-war Europe, waking up is painful. It's cruel because it forces a civilization that just wants to be numb to remember what it's lost and desire what it can't have. It's stirring up roots that would honestly rather just stay asleep. And right there, from the very first lines, you get a sense of just how massive Eliot's ambition is. This isn't some little poem about his own feelings. No way. This is a grand, sweeping meditation on the decay of an entire culture and its desperate, agonizing search for renewal. Okay, so you might be thinking, how on earth do I even read this thing? It jumps between different languages, different people, different times. It can feel chaotic. But Eliot knew that. He actually gave us a special kind of map to navigate it all, something we now call the mythical method. And yeah, it's a map made of broken pieces. So what is this mythical method? Well, it's kind of genius. Eliot takes this spiritual emptiness and confusion of his own time and anchors it. He connects it to these huge timeless stories from the past, myths, legends, religion. He uses these ancient stories to give a kind of structure and meaning to all the modern-day despair. And just look at the cast of characters he pulls in. It's incredible. You've got legends about the Holy Grail. You've got a fortune teller reading tarot cards. Ancient Greek prophets like Tiresias. He's pulling from Roman poets, from Shakespeare, and even from the wisdom of Buddha and St. Augustine. All these different voices come together to form one giant consciousness, speaking for a whole civilization. And this right here, this is the absolute core of what he was doing. Eliot basically believed the modern world was too shattered, too fragmented, to be described in one simple, clean story. So the poem itself is fragmented to reflect that brokenness. It's up to us, the readers, to piece the meaning together from all the little bits he gives us. All right, so now that we have our map, let's take a quick tour through this incredible landscape. Eliot takes us through what he calls the Unreal City. It's based on London, but it's really a symbol for any modern city that's just lost its soul. Our first stop is a game of chess, and it drops us right into this room that is just dripping with luxury. I mean, rich decorations, heavy perfumes, but you can feel the tension. It's almost suffocating. It's this powerful picture of how all the money and beauty in the world mean absolutely nothing when there's a huge spiritual hole at the center of it all. So from that tense, private room, the poem kind of zooms out. In the fire sermon, we're by the River Thames, and it's polluted, not just with trash, but with a fallout of these empty, loveless hookups. It's a world where desire is still there, but it's totally disconnected from any real meaning or emotion. It's a state of profound spiritual dryness. So you have to wonder, who's seeing all of this? Who's our guide? Well, the central figure watching all this decay is Tiresias, the blind prophet from Greek myth. And what's so cool about him is that he was once turned into a woman for 7 years. So he's lived as both a man and a woman. He sees the past and the future. He's the one who ties all these broken pieces and different people together. Then our tour takes this really sudden, really short but powerful turn in Death by Water. We see the body of a drowned sailor, Phlebas. It's a stark, simple reminder that we all die. But think about it. Water brings death, sure, but what else does it symbolize? Cleansing, rebirth. So even in this image of death, Eliot plants this tiny seed of hope, a faint chance for renewal. And that leads us to the poem's climax, the final section, What the Thunder Said. The world here is a wasteland, dry, rocky, everything seems to be collapsing. But out of this total apocalypse, a message arrives, a possible way out. So, the storm finally breaks, but the thunder doesn't just rumble, it speaks. It says one word, duh. And Eliot, pulling from ancient Hindu texts, breaks that one sound into 3 commands for humanity. It's a three-part spiritual checklist: dada, give; dayatvam, sympathize; and damyata, control. It's a moral lifeline thrown to a world that's completely lost its way. So, after all that, you'd think we'd get a nice, neat ending, right? Nope. Eliot doesn't give us that. After a final rush of all these broken lines and quotes, he just leaves us with this: shanti, shanti, shanti. It's a Sanskrit phrase, a blessing that means something like the peace which passeth understanding. Is it a promise of peace, or is it just a desperate prayer for it? Well, Eliot lets us decide. Okay, so it's been 100 years. Why are we still talking about this incredibly difficult, fragmented poem? Why does this map of a world broken by World War I still mean so much to us now? It's because the things he was writing about are absolutely timeless. That feeling of being spiritually exhausted, of living in a world that feels disconnected from history and real values, that search for something authentic in all the noise. I mean, does any of that sound familiar? The poem is basically a mirror for the modern soul. And really, that's the final challenge the poem leaves us with. Eliot dug through the wreckage of his civilization, old myths, new cities, sacred books, and he pieced together a fragile kind of meaning. So the question isn't just about his world, it's about ours. In our own age of information overload and constant